Yes, good morning, everybody. My name is Jari Honkanen. I come from the Ministry of the Interior Department for Rescue Services International Unit there. Thank you very much for the invitation to this final conference of the Cascade project. I think your way of working during the project is one brilliant example of the active, recommendable and reasonable project cooperation in the Baltic Sea region. I say reasonable because this project gives solutions and tools added value to the partners in places where they have or where you have recognized gaps. And I totally agree with the words of Mr. Grönholm, what he mentioned before, of the importance of the and essence of the cooperation in our region. In my presentation, I will give an overview of what we have been preparing in the Ministry of the Interior in order to fill some gaps in our own Sendai framework implementation. We did have a steering group of Sendai disaster risk reduction cooperation in years 2015-2018, and the network consisted of 19 partners. But after this period, the cooperation has been smaller. But of course, last year, mostly concerning the corona pandemic cooperation. And then, of course, there has been the annual country report that we have been given to the United Nations twice a year. Like you know, the Sendai reporting covers several branches. Collecting information from several authorities and organizations for annual report is the responsibility of our Ministry of the Interior. And since we don't have any single source of information or data collecting, single data collecting system, we need to collect the facts from different sources. In Finland, we don't have any single strategy based on Sendai framework, but we have several other national strategies, programs, and the legislation. All these form the structure for the needed preparedness and for catastrophes. Responsibilities and tasks within societal preparedness are based on the legislation Preparedness Act, Rescue Act, and other special legislation. But we know that the implementation is much more than just numbers, especially when we talk about analyzing, planning, and building preparedness. We do need the statistics and figures to describe us facts, which then give the common basis for cooperation enhancing the preparedness and measures to mitigate the possible consequences of disasters. After all, Sendai implementation is a cross-cutting issue, and it concerns several authorities and other actors on all levels. In Finland, in cooperation, we engage all essential stakeholders. This we call the comprehensive security model, kokonaisturvallisuuden malli. We see that it is relevant to engage all those partners who have a role in some place in the security responsibilities. In practice, they can be from the authorities and administration, private sector and companies, civil society and voluntary organizations, and from academia, education, research, development, and innovation. We see this model working well in Finland, since the cooperation between authorities and different authorities, the central organizations and private sector functions well. This is the dialogue and open, the dialogue and open discussion, and the thresholds between different parties are really low. In this coordination role in the disaster risk reduction team, we have recognized the need for a closer and more organized cooperation and collaboration between the ministries and other essential partners who in their mandate have important role in DRR. Also, the ongoing corona pandemic has strengthened the need for active cooperation and discussion, information sharing, and therefore we saw it well to establish the regular and organized goal-oriented network again, like it was some years ago. Here you see how well the different branches of the Finnish society are represented by these 22 partners. There you see the coordination, chairperson and secretary, that is in the Ministry of the Interior. Then we have the partners with the research functions and other members of the network. And there we have 7 ministries, other central national bodies and organizations, also the headquarters of the Finnish Red Cross, and so on. Because this network offers a great community and wide knowledge and expertise, of course it was reasonable to open the mind for wider themes than just for data collecting. So we will have following themes to work on: sharing and promoting information from different branches and administrations and from their different levels, coordinating the Finnish participation in the Sendai DRR themed international conferences like the Global Platform and the European Forum for DRR, participation in national and international projects which support the implementation of the national strategies, to develop the data collecting system and data architecture, and of course to support our obligations towards the Sendai country reporting so that we have covering and explicit data to provide. For the first network meeting, we wanted to give our partners homework for the summer, and they will be encouraged to think following questions so that we can form a common understanding what this network is for. Finally, the effectivity is up to our own activity, as well as we can also define where we wish to be seen and noticed and where we wish to have real impact. And here you see the homework questions. How does your organization implement DRR already now? With this question, we actually wanted to wake up our partners to think and to take in consideration in their everyday business as usual work the all the time strong developing needs for the environment and the need for preparedness. Like you see, we have a very practical and pragmatic procedure because we think that the clearer the partners see their possibilities and influence of being active oneself, the stronger is the engagement and participation in common issues. Finland is actively participating in the Baltic Sea region cooperation in the policy area Secure. Finland coordinates 3 of the 7 priority areas, and we are active in 4 others as well. One of them is the implementation of the Sendai framework. It is coordinated by Latvian fire and rescue authorities, and we have offered our national active support to our Latvian colleagues. The other initiative that we coordinate a common proposal for the European Forum for Disaster Risk Reduction site event later this year in Portugal. Its theme is the information architecture. We want to work on the challenge of splitted and unequal content of data, how to create a modern data architecture to serve the decision making. Our partners in this proposal are Sweden, MSB, Latvia, and the CBSS Secretariat. So this was an overall update from the Finnish Ministry of the Interior in cases engaged to support and promote the very important DRR investments for our common future. Thank you very much for your interest, and I wish you all a good webinar and afterwards very good and relaxing summer. Bye-bye.